Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds, heaven Godspeed.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule。
我们的节目提供多种语言，请看 suprememastertv.com/schedule。
The climate crisis is no longer a distant future threat, but an existential crisis that is upon us in 2022. We cannot wait for governments. We must all act immediately. And moving to a plant-based diet is the most impactful thing any individual can do to help address the grave situation we face.
Progressive Cities, Halting Climate Change Through the Plant-Based Treaty, Part 2 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
We've learned that the original will and intent in the Torah is plant-based nutrition. The Reverend Rabbi Asa Kisa, vegan.
Greetings, noble viewers. My name is Alan. The sincere people of the United States Virgin Islands wish that all world leaders be guided by the divine power toward virtuous and benevolent actions, so that we may soon have a vegan paradise where all humans and animal people live in harmony. Welcome to our show, Progressive Cities, Halting Climate Change Through the Plant-Based Treaty. Many scientific studies have shown that raising animal people livestock for so-called food is a significant cause of deforestation, ocean dead zones, water shortages, water pollution, the mass extinction of wildlife, and global food insecurity. But perhaps its most dangerous consequence is global warming. The 2006 United Nations study, Livestock's Long Shadow, estimates that raising animal people livestock causes more greenhouse gas emissions than all forms of transportation combined, and calls for a reduction in animal people meat consumption as the fastest way to halt climate change. In addition, a 2018 study from the University of Oxford in England estimates that beef consumption must be reduced by 90% to avoid a climate catastrophe. The Plant-Based Treaty is an international grassroots campaign urging world governments to stop climate change by rapidly shifting to the plant-based lifestyle. Among other things, the treaty calls for a halt to any expansion of animal people livestock raising facilities and slaughterhouses. It also calls for widespread reforestation and rewilding of lands currently being used for raising animal people livestock. In addition, it recommends extensive education on the benefits of the vegan lifestyle. And finally, the treaty urges a redirection of subsidies, removing them from the animal people livestock industry and providing them instead to plant-based farms and farmers transitioning to vegan agriculture. In our previous episode, we learned about several virtuous, noble cities in the USA, Argentina, and India that have already endorsed the plant-based treaty. In today's episode, we'll learn about the wise governments of other towns and cities that support the treaty. The first is Haywards Heath, a town in southeast England. According to the United Kingdom's Met Office, in 2022, England experienced one of the hottest summers since record-keeping began in 1884. During July, temperatures exceeded 40 degrees Celsius for the first time in UK history. Rivers dried up, crops were decimated, and devastating wildfires were fueled by the massive heat wave and ensuing drought. UK citizens grew increasingly apprehensive about the dangers of global warming, and on July 21, 2022, the concerned members of the Haywards Heath Town Council agreed to endorse the plant-based treaty. Haywards Heath thus became the first town in Europe to join the initiative. Dr. Richard Nicholson, a council member from the Green Party who introduced the treaty, says, "The climate crisis is no longer a distant future threat, but an existential crisis that is upon us in 2022. The southeast of England has endured the highest ever summer temperatures in history, and people's properties have been destroyed by fire and flood. We cannot wait for governments. We must all act immediately. And moving to a plant-based diet is the most impactful thing any individual can do to help address the grave situation we face." Dr. Nicholson adds, "I encourage all town, district, county, and metro councils to sign the plant-based treaty immediately." The Plant-Based Food Alliance, a coalition of organizations across the UK, praised the decision by the insightful council members of Haywards Heath. Marissa Heath, vegan, CEO of the alliance, said, "We applaud the town council in Haywards Heath for taking this step, and we encourage other towns in the UK to follow suit." Marissa Heath added, "Taking steps to transition to a more plant-based diet is important for food security, for the battle against climate change, and for encouraging healthier diets. It is also one of the simplest and quickest actions we can take to make a significant difference." Nicola Harris, vegan, communications director for the Plant-Based Treaty Organization, says, "Record-breaking 40 degrees Celsius plus temperatures this summer are a bleak reminder that cuts to emissions from fossil fuels and animal agriculture can't come soon enough." Nicola Harris encourages other global leaders to join the campaign, adding, "We need local, national, and international cooperation to reduce food-related GHG emissions through a shift to plant-based diets." During 2022, the European Union also felt the widespread, devastating effects of global warming. A series of blistering heat waves resulted in the EU's hottest summer on record, with many areas experiencing the most serious drought conditions in centuries. In response to its citizens' growing concerns, the town of Didim, Turkey, endorsed the plant-based treaty on October 14, 2022. The mayor of Didim, the Honorable Ahmet Deniz Atabey, stated, "We are aware of the seriousness of the climate crisis, and we believe that the plant-based treaty campaign will make a positive contribution towards solutions to this crisis." In addition to this endorsement, the Turkish Ministry of Environment, Urbanization and Climate Change invited the Plant-Based Treaty Organization to make a presentation at the 2022 United Nations COP27 Climate Change Conference about why a global shift to the plant-based lifestyle and widespread reforestation is the fastest way to halt climate change. At the national level, several UK members of Parliament also support the plant-based treaty. They have submitted the treaty to Parliament and are calling on the UK government to be a world leader in recognizing the negative impact of industrial animal agriculture on climate change, and commit to developing a global strategy to transition towards more sustainable plant-based food systems. In 2022, global warming wreaked havoc throughout Argentina. As of September 2022, the nation was facing a widespread drought. In the vast Pampas plains of Argentina, almost no rain has fallen for more than 4 months, and farmers fear they will not be able to plant their annual crops. This would be a disaster for global food security, as Argentina is the world's largest exporter of soya meal and soya oil, the third largest exporter of corn, and a significant producer of wheat and barley. In Argentina's capital, Buenos Aires, the city government is deeply concerned about global warming, and on August 9, 2022, the city of Buenos Aires also endorsed the plant-based treaty. The Honorable Horacio Rodriguez Larreta, a Harvard University graduate and the mayor of Buenos Aires, hopes other governments will follow the noble lead of this city, stating, "We are proud of our leadership on climate action. To promote the comprehensive well-being of people, now is the time to unite the mayors of Latin America and the world to promote faster and more ambitious action ahead of COP27. Cities can achieve an enormous impact in the fight against climate change." Stephanie Cabovienco, a member of the Plant-Based Treaty Organization, says, "Considering that the city of Buenos Aires has a goal of carbon neutrality by 2050, and that, according to C40, a change in the diet of cities could reduce emissions by up to 60% in just 10 years, we celebrate this step forward." As part of its 2050 Climate Action Plan, Buenos Aires promotes sustainable food production, urban agriculture, and the expansion of the city's plant-based markets. It has also established wellness stations throughout the city, providing free nutritional counseling and encouraging healthier lifestyles. In October 2022, Buenos Aires is hosting the C40 World Mayors Summit. Climate campaigners are urging all C40 cities to join the Plant-Based Treaty Initiative. Let's now visit California, USA, where the effects of global warming are affecting the lives of millions of people. With the state experiencing record high temperatures, the worst drought in 1,200 years, water shortages, and widespread, devastating forest fires, some are referring to the current situation as a climate nightmare. In response to this climate emergency, on October 18, 2022, the City Council of Los Angeles, California, voted unanimously to adopt its resolution supporting the Plant-Based Treaty Initiative. Council member, the Honorable Paul Koretz, who helped introduce the resolution, stated, "This landmark resolution marks a vital cultural shift as Americans prioritize both combating climate change and improving their health." The LA Council's endorsement of the Plant-Based Treaty was made just prior to the C40 World Mayors Summit in Buenos Aires. The Honorable Paul Koretz added, as over 2,200 municipalities did with climate emergency declarations, I invite other cities to join us and endorse the plant-based treaty. Jane Velez Mitchell, vegan, a Shining World Vegan Journalist Award recipient and an award-winning journalist and founder of Jane Unchained TV, is optimistic that the progressive action taken by Los Angeles could have significant international impact. She said, LA is historically known to lead the nation in environmental trends. What happens in LA spreads to the rest of the world. In addition to endorsing the plant-based treaty, the Los Angeles City Council further recommended that U.S. government include the plant-based solution as a centerpiece of its greenhouse gas, or GHG, emissions policy. Since its launch in August 2021, the plant-based treaty has gained significant global support. In addition to city governments, the treaty has been endorsed by Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC scientists, Nobel laureates, more than 800 organizations, almost 900 businesses, and tens of thousands of individuals. Its supporters include Greenpeace, Friends of the Earth, Animal Rebellion, and the Oceanic Preservation Society. Our most gracious Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, often speaks about the disastrous effects of climate change. She reminds us that a global shift to the vegan lifestyle is the only way to stop global warming and save our planet. To accelerate such a shift, Master urges governmental leaders to enact a global ban on animal people meat consumption.
All the leaders just have to sit together and sign it. Animal people, meat ban, fish ban, all animal people, products ban. Very simple. They can do it.
Yes, Master.
Yes.
We have also radio, we have television, we have newspaper. We can explain to people through all these means of communication. We are in the 21st century.
Yes.
Many countries already have animal laws to protect animal people.
Yes.
In many countries, you cannot harm the animal people. You cannot starve the animal people. You have to give them adequate water and food. You cannot make them scared in any way. You cannot inhibit their natural behavior in any way. You cannot make them live in fear. You cannot oppress them. You cannot hurt them in any way. They have the law already. They just have to act on it. All you have to do is to change all these slaughterhouses and abattoirs into vegan farms.
Oh, yes.
Vegetable farms.
Yes, Master.
Okay, organic farms are better.
Yes, Master.
If they don't have animal people meat, then they don't eat animal people meat.
Yes.
Yes, Master.
Yes.
They have to use their power that the people entrusted to them to do good for the people.
Our deepest gratitude goes to Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, for sharing her immense wisdom. We pray that global leaders will quickly ban animal people meat consumption and thus usher in a noble, compassionate, peaceful vegan world. For more information about the plant-based treaty, please visit plantbasedtreaty.org.
Contribute to world peace. Be vegan quick.
Loving viewers, thank you for joining us today. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for Mark Cuban on a mission to provide affordable medication. Coming up next, right after Noteworthy News. May your thoughts, words, and actions be guided by your love for all beings.
Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds, hell not reach.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/GG.